evidently we should be live on youtube.com right now.
YouTube!
Whoa,
Or
YouTube.
if you're listening after the fact, my name is Woodhawker. His name is Hermantha.
Well,
together,
hold on. Okay.
Together, we are very excited about the Switch 2 because it's a new season of the podcast, baby.
Welcome back. We're here. We're doing it. I was trying to fade out the music. I couldn't cut and do it at the same time. I'm only one guy.
Cut to me.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh.
It took so long. Guys, it happened. Oh, baby, it happened.
It happened.
The
We made it
Nintendo
happen.
Switch 2. You know what I was thinking would be a really funny video for me to make at some point this week or next week? Nintendo Switch 3 rumors.
I think you should.
Have you seen these leaked shells on Reddit of the Switch 3? Like, what are they going to call it? What's the name going to be? Can we speculate about the hardware inside?
I think this whole channel is about speculating things that do not exist yet.
I'm over the Switch 2, to be honest. I want this episode to be all about the Switch 3, leaks and rumors. I need to know now.
I'm down, bro.
I'm predicting a 2034 release window. I'm thinking it's going to have the power of a PlayStation 5 Pro. Ham space. Can you imagine?
A PS5 Pro in 2030. Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm actually so excited. I made a reaction video on my main channel yesterday, the Thursday the 16th, they revealed it.
Sure.
Everything about this console got leaked before it released. We couldn't even get away with being surprised on the release date of the trailer. Because a few days beforehand, Nate the Hay and some other industry insiders were like, yeah, it's happening in the morning of the 16th. We're going to get a reveal trailer. Nintendo really, I actually do feel bad for them. They couldn't catch any slack with this whole reveal window. Like, no part of it was kept secret. I don't know what is happening within Nintendo that they can't control this or keep things secret right now. Like, I know with the hardware leaks, my theory is it was a disaster for them because I think they probably wanted to do something with a Switch 2 last year.
Right.
At the very least, reveal it, if not, maybe even release it. So they started going into development, I would say, like 9-10 months ago. And as soon as you start developing a console and you're putting the hardware out there and manufacturing out there, it's eventually going to get leaked. People are going to leak it.
Right.
But when it comes down to like the reveal date of a trailer, like at that point, who do you have? You got to look around the office. You got to look around the building.
I agree, but here's the thing here's a piece of information I think that maybe we're not touching upon is the fact that we kind of did this. This is sort of our fault, right?
No,
like
no.
Because Nintendo fans, right, and gaming fans in general, right, are so incessant about like wanting to know what the next thing is that we're gonna do anything we can.
I can't help that I love them.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying right
now. But I'm not the one
leaking
it though. I'm not Nate the Hate. I'm not the one with the industry insider information.
Yeah,
I actually had information when.
Dog, you're literally holding. You're literally holding.
Okay, but I didn't
leak it.
I didn't leak it. Genki leaked it.
Fair enough.
And then I talk about it. But when Genki sent me this,
yeah.
Hold on, let me retool what I'm saying.
Let's think about this.
Let me retool what I'm saying. Nothing to do with Genki at all or that console. I had information about the console from people that had seen it.
Right.
I could have leaked certain things, but one, I didn't want to end up being wrong for whatever reason.
Fair,
it's so much pressure. And
we
B,
know how you like to be right.
And
yeah.
I do like to be right. And B, I didn't want to get those people in trouble. C, I don't want to be that guy. It's the same like, okay, here's my proof. That Zelda Switch behind your head right now, if you wouldn't mind cutting to you. You know how long I had that for in my house and a video ready to go before Nintendo even revealed it? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's what we call restraint, folks.
I could have.
What a restrained king you are.
I don't know why I care so much, but I do honestly feel bad for Nintendo. I feel like they should get to reveal their things before other people. If someone else had put up an unboxing video, I would have instantly made mine public.
Right.
instantly. I would have been like, well, someone else has done it, so whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't care. Maybe I should be like Nate the Hate. Maybe I shouldn't care about anyone but myself.
So somebody in chat said.
Sorry. No, wait. Come back to me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That was a joke. Nobody gets my jokes. I have no hate for Nate.
We're gonna talk about that.
I have no hate for Nate. That was a joke. He's a good guy.
Somebody in chat said that adding fuel to the fire doesn't make us innocent, which, by the way, don't like the terminology of innocent versus guilty, right? Because
I thought you were going to say I don't like the analogy right now with what's happening in LA.
No, what? No,
that was my first thought.
What
like right
doing?
now, maybe don't use fire.
Just stop. Okay. All right. What I'm trying to say though is that still.
I'm so excited.
I don't like to call it being innocent versus guilty, right? But at the end of the day, right, it does feel like right now the like Nintendo's like feelings on the matter is like, okay, God, I guess you guys already know it. So here it is.
I think it was very clear. We're gonna watch the trailer again today, but I think it was very clear by the trailer they dropped where they said absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. It was just 2 minutes of silence as they showed us what we already know.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's clear they were like, all right, here's what you already know. We're gonna keep some secrets. But here's the other thing with that, and we're gonna get into it. Mm-hmm. They're not doing a direct and actually talking about the features and the console until April.
Right.
Which maybe they have a whole plan, man, but that gives 3 more months for leakers to ruin certain things about this console, for more information to come out before Nintendo gets a chance to talk about it.
But so do you think it's April, well, it's obviously April Direct. Do you think it's April release also? Like release on Direct?
We're a little all over the place, but no, it's not coming until earliest June.
Okay.
And the reason for that, I don't even have my dock up right now. Hold on, let me pull. I was so excited to go live.
You're doing great, brother.
I'm doing
great.
You're
doing such a good job today.
The reason
I'm proud of you.
For that is in the dock that I have that I'm opening right now.
You're doing great, man. We're all proud of you in chat. All of your jokes are landing.
I will fire you again. I have no qualms.
Absolutely none whatsoever.
I have so many notes in here. Let me find the right one. Mm-hmm. The leak question, my reaction, reveal date. Here we go. So someone pointed out over here, and I think you can cut to me safely now, that they're doing all these preview experiences, right, of the like hands-on of the console, and they're all called previews.
So this is already another leak.
No, this is on Nintendo's website.
Oh, it is? Okay.
And the last preview listed is June 1st.
Right.
So you would, and this is in Seoul. So you would think if they're doing a preview on June 1st, then it's probably the console's probably not going to be out. I mean, what's the point?
What's that New York thing going on over there? What's that?
You don't know? How do you not know about this?
I know that they're doing something.
It was in the reveal trailer.
No, I know, I saw that, but I'm just saying, like, are we going to that? Are we going to try to get
probably not, because Nintendo does these events really annoyingly. It's the same with the museum. They raffle off entries.
Right.
So you need to have a Nintendo account, you need to apply to go, and then it's a raffle chance of getting in, and it's pretty limited spaces. So I think the chance of us getting in is very slim, unfortunately. I'm going to try. Actually, they go live now.
Yeah.
Like you can end, I think like today, like at this point today, you can enter the raffle.
We
which I'll try. But we're not going to get in, unfortunately.
But never say never, man. We'll see.
It's not going to happen. I've tried so many of these events in the past. But anyway, June 1st is the last preview. So earliest thing that a couple weeks after that, you would think would be the earliest it could release at that point, because who's doing a hands-on preview the day before it releases? So I would give it 2 weeks.
Right.
But even still, doing a preview in the month it releases almost feels a little close. So June, July, somewhere around there. I don't think it'll be any later because you have 2 big windows in a year. Nintendo, for some reason, does March a lot. That's not technically a big window. That just works for them because it's far removed from what other companies usually do. So they like kind of capitalize that early space. But other than that, you have 2 big windows, and that's summer and holiday. You don't want to release it, I think, any later than June, July. Otherwise, you're missing summer. And I don't think you want to release it for a holiday season anywhere other than like October, November. And I don't think they would reveal it now. This is all me just talking out loud. I don't think they would reveal it now to release it at the end of the year, almost a year away. That's nuts.
Right.
So, and if you look at Nintendo's track history, they usually reveal it. A few months later, they talk about it. And then a couple months later, they release it. So I think late June, mid to late June is when we'll see it. That's my guess right now.
Yeah.
That's my guess right
so.
now. It's
also,
honestly too far away, I think. Too far away.
Is important, by the way. $49.99 super chat by Satisfy Gaming.
Oh my God.
Chat right now.
Satisfy. I have
out.
something on the table that I'm now realizing maybe shouldn't be here.
Oh, well.
You can tell me if that should be here or not. Satisfy. Shout out to Satisfy. On an unrelated note, I have these switches here on the table of my little renders. So, a couple of things here, guys. One, I want to look through the podcast episodes of today, and I've taken screenshots and I've built a PowerPoint presentation of every episode that we did with Switch 2 in the title.
Yeah.
Every single one, barring maybe one that was a little embellished, ended up being a real leak for this actual thing that I'm holding and the actual console.
Yeah.
So I want to go through that because I think it's
fire.
interesting that almost every time I did a video with Switch 2 in the title, which wasn't as many as you'd think when we look at it, everyone said clickbait, and then everyone ended up being correct. I'm just out here reporting the facts. You know what I mean? But on my main channel, I wanted to wait to do a leak video until I knew for sure that everything I had was guaranteed to be true. I didn't want to have anything in there that would age poorly. I didn't want to become a leak and rumor channel that uploads leak rumors every day. I really built my main channel around content that is relevant all the time, at least recently, and I just didn't want to keep reporting on silly leaks. So I waited, I did one big video, and I had a Switch 2 for a 3D printed one.
Right.
And I think if you go back and watch that video, it holds up perfectly. I don't think there's anything in there that ended up not coming to fruition, however you pronounce that. So this is the one that I 3D printed. This is the one Genki went viral with.
Right.
They sent it to me. Like literally, this is the one that went viral on the internet. It even has like their little Genki confidential sticker on the back, which I was telling Ham, I think that's so funny that they took this to CES with stickers all over it that said confidential, and then were just like, come look at it. Come check it out, everybody. Take pictures of it. Upload it. Their model is the exact same dimensions as mine, even to the point where I can take my 3D printed Joy-Con and I can put it perfectly into their model that was made after the Switch, which makes me feel even more confident about my video and this little fake thing that I 3D printed. Also, this is really cool. They put like magnets in it, and the switch on this one actually works. This like removable switch thing.
Nice.
So.
We got a few super chats, by the way. Thank you guys for the super chats. One from Munching Munchlax. Is asking if we're going to talk about Mario Kart 9.
Yeah, trust me, we have so many things on the dock to get through, and we even
and they brought a very interesting point about it that I do want to remember for later. Which they said that it looks like in the video that it starts with 24 players.
Yeah, I want to break down the Mario Kart trailer because I really didn't get to break that down in my actual video.
Yeah, and then also a super chat from I don't know, said I signed up for the event in Milan.
Oh,
I hope I get in.
Yeah, I hope you get in too.
I hope you get in.
I'm going to sign up for the New York one. Maybe I'll eat my words and I'll get lucky. But I feel like Nintendo, if they see my name, they're going to be like, not that guy.
Well, we sign up under my name then, right?
Well, between me, you, Bob, Ham, Max, like anyone we can get to sign up.
We'll put it in the group chat for later, and we'll sign.
Also,
if
you're out, if you live, everybody sign up. Everybody sign up for the New York event.
We'll even tell Scoot to sign up, and then if he can come, then he'll come out for
that.
Well,
what I was going to say is, if you don't want to go, you have no interest in going, sign up for me, and if you get it, let me have it.
Yeah, not Nintendo clipping this right now, by the way.
Let me have it. Trust me. I'll pay you. I'll give you a little gift. I'll give you a little hug. I'll give you anything you want. Yeah. Well, not anything, but
Nintendo's going to update the page to say that a matching ID is required.
If anyone wants to help me out, I would really appreciate it. All right, I think we should just off the rip watch this trailer.
Let's do it,
and then go from there. Obviously, we've all seen this. Some of us have seen this 10 times at this point, if not more. I'm going to have the sound up for it. Audio listeners, I'm going to do my best to walk you through it, but let's not lie. You've already seen it. I don't want to break it down too much because my main video already breaks it down. I'll just be repeating myself. But I do love that it starts with the original Switch as a reference point here. And already that original Switch is...
You have no audio on this, or...
No.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's up to full, so it's on you.
Oh, I'm asking if you... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love audio. It's just music.
Is it... Go ahead, play it.
I don't hear nothing.
I don't hear nothing either. This was working before stream.
Well, you work on fixing that because we're going to need that in a minute.
It's all right.
Anyway, I don't love. It's funny to me how dated the original Switch already looks. I talked about this in my leak video, the one where I was like showing you this console, where the previous Nintendo hardware always instantly looks like a toy once the new one comes out. I went on a whole spiel about that the editor cut down because I did rant for a long time. Right. But that extends past the Switch. I honestly think if you think of anything like going from the DS, like the original DS, to even the DS Lite, or even the 3DS, and then you look back at the original consoles, they look so cheap. They look like toys. You go from the GBA to the Game Boy Advance SP. It's like this nice, sleek, like awesome handheld that still looks nice today. The GBA just kind of looks like a little leapfrog toy. Weird. I actually love the way it looks. But my point is, every time we upgrade Nintendo hardware, when it comes to handhelds mostly, the previous hardware instantly looks like cheaper and more like a toy. And I think that's exactly the feeling that we're going to have now, and also when we get our hands on this new sleek black console. Is the sound...
It's not. I feel like it's coming from there because I'm getting no audio on my end from that PC.
Well, we need to...
I can cut away for that.
Is that going to affect the other thing that's
other thing? No.
Okay, then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We've all heard it.
Yeah.
It's just some nice little ASMR sound effects.
True.
Anything other than that here in the actual design is, again, all stuff that we unfortunately knew about. There are a lot of people that feel very underwhelmed by this, and it's really not... Well, it's twofold, I think, because... It's underwhelming because everything was leaked and ruined anyway. So no matter what was shown by Nintendo, there would have been an air of, we've already seen this. But you couple that with the unfortunate nature of this thing really just being a Switch.
Yeah.
Like, it really is just a Switch. Usually with Nintendo, when you get a handheld that looks just like the previous handheld, it's usually within the same generation. Mm-hmm. Like, all the DSs kind of look like a little clamshell thing, but improvements, you know, the original Ambassador 3DS to the new 3DS XL, it's still like the rectangle clamshell. It's always within a generation, but when you move out of the generation, it's usually vastly different with tons of new gimmicks or some new way to play. And this time, other than the little mouses that we've seen, it is the same thing. And seemingly, so far, it doesn't really have its own gimmick. I don't think the mouse thing holds up as, like, that extreme of a gimmick at this point.
Unless Nintendo's starting their own entire OS.
We will see.
They do, but they don't, right? Like, it's not...
So on its face value, it is underwhelming for those two reasons.
Yeah.
There are some other secrets they might have. There could be some software side secrets. We talked about possibly casting the Switch to the dock so you can get the two screens. I don't know if that's possible. I still don't know if I'm leaning into that being real, but that is something that would be on the software side. They're still hiding what that extra little button does that used to have a C on it, but now they've removed it. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of people talking about how it could mean chat or community, and maybe they're adding in a lot more like interaction online between people in their friends lists and players online, which would make a lot of sense for releasing with Mario Kart, which is an online game, giving people a way of actually communicating. So that's a weird thing to get excited for because everything ever has ways of communicating. But when you've gone 8 years with radio silence and a crappy mobile app, you'll take anything, you know?
Yeah. There's also the USB port on top of the actual console itself now, right? So
yeah, that's exciting. I talked about that in my video.
Well, you think mouse and keyboard, right? You know?
Maybe. I mean, so really having two USB slots has become pretty standard with these handhelds now, mostly so that you can charge the handheld while also having something else plugged in. Mm-hmm. But it does also, as you're pointing out, lean into, there's mouse functionality here.
Yeah. And it opens up the possibility for more peripherals.
Yeah, more peripherals, but also more accessories, you're right. But also, like, if we're leaning into this mouse thing, it depends in what context, but sure, maybe we can just plug in an actual mouse now.
Right.
Maybe we can do a lot of things that we might need these two slots for. Maybe when you dock it, there might be something that you might want to plug in the top while it's docked. Like, you never know with Nintendo. This is all probably what ships with the Switch, but who knows if Nintendo has an actual first-party device that you can get on top of this. Think about like a Kinect.
Right.
I don't want it to be a Kinect.
No,
but something like that, where Nintendo has made some device you can buy that works with the Switch, which could be something like a camera. I've heard people talking about a camera you can connect.
Yeah, I do like that remember the thing that you slid on for the shoulder buttons on the old Switch, right? Yeah. Is that now is basically just a thing that you just snap on.
I like that way more. The sliding thing always got stuck for me. It was kind of annoying to you. It's not too bad. These sticks are much bigger. Actually, that's one difference on the Genki Switch over mine. So mine had these little original Switch nubs.
Right.
And again, I think that's because... you can cut to me for a second while I show this. I think that's because this Switch I have is the right dimensions, and this came from warehouses that are making Switch accessories. So what they needed was the correct dimensions of the console, not necessarily the correct dimensions of things like the thumbsticks, because those aren't covered up or used in accessories 99% of the time with these companies like D-Brand, for example. Right. This is actually a one-for-one model of the Switch 2 based on seeing a Switch 2. So not only is it the right size, but it has things like these big, thick thumbsticks, which I think look nicer.
Those don't move, right?
No, these don't move.
Okay, yeah.
It's 3D print. I think they're nicer, they're definitely larger, and I'm hoping that in part of all of this, as a lot of people are, and I think Nintendo is showing it off by twirling the thumbstick in the video, Hall effect sticks or something that essentially won't drift.
Right.
Funny though that immediately after that they do drift. They do little burnouts right here. They're literally drifting right here. I saw someone tweet that. It was very funny. Yeah, I like these slide-on things too, Ham. I think they're really cute and cool, and they look like they're easy to take on and take off.
Right.
I think on their own, they look a little silly because they're like little ovals. But
yeah,
I mean, it's no different.
And then people were talking about the socket for where they connect as being a potential failure point. So I don't know how you feel about that.
You can cut back to me again.
Sure.
I tweeted about that. So there was a tweet, I can bring it up in a second or later, a tweet that was going viral with like 200,000 likes. It was someone drew a picture, a cartoon picture, of this little connector on the inside snapping off.
Right.
Now, Bob posted a video talking about how it's no different to a USB-C drive, because USB-C drives have that same little thing in there.
Yeah.
But you can't snap it off because once you put the thing in, it sits flush. Have you ever snapped off one of those? No, of course not.
I thought, believe me, I'm just asking for the sake of content. I think that's stupid too.
I'm using you as my talking reference.
Right.
So I put up a video that actually got a little bit of traction about this because I have that nub in here. In my 3D print. Right. And even my plastic one, once I put this in, there's no way of breaking that. Like, you're going to break the Joy-Con and break the casing on the actual Switch long before you break that little thing on the inside.
Right.
The only way I can see this being broken is it is pretty easy to get your finger in there and, like, I don't know, if you wanted to break it.
I think dust is the main, like, worry for that. Yeah.
You ever seen an NES cartridge?
Yeah.
Are you new? Are you a newborn? Have you ever seen you grow up with a Super Nintendo? We're back to the old days, baby. Nintendo's bringing it back. You just do a little blow.
They're going to have a Nintendo branded, like,
do a little blow.
Look, air gun thing.
Listen to me right now very clearly. This is docked, right? On your TV stand or something.
Yeah.
And it's not connecting. You go down there, you get on your knees, and you give it a blow. It's that simple. A little blow.
I'm with you.
Sorry about that. I'm very excited. If you can't tell, I'm in a very good mood. I love all of this.
So excited.
Yeah, if you're a little kid, if you want to get pliers and you want to try breaking this thing, sure. People will like. I feel like if the Joy-Cons aren't connected and it's left around my room, it's gonna break. I really don't know how you would.
Yeah.
Like, I could put this on my floor right now and I could step on it. I'm going to break the whole console.
Sure.
I ain't going to break this little guy.
Yeah. It's like, it's an internal part, you know? Like,
so, but maybe, you know, I was thinking about like the Game Boy SP, for example. You want to talk about a weak point?
Oh, yeah.
You could snap the SP. You could stand on the SP and snap it.
Yeah.
I mean, every console, I think, has weak points.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this thing will be an absolute nightmare. I don't think it will be, and I think Nintendo has had 9 months of production at this point to stress test it, and they've probably been playing games and using it for almost a year now behind the scenes. I think they would know at this point if it was going to be an issue.
Right. Sorry to put a pin in this.
What's up?
A couple of things. One is we got a $20 super chat earlier from Prof Rock. Says, I'm glad we have a Switch too, and we might get what you wanted, which is a summer release.
Yeah, I'm actually, I'm really hoping for a summer release because I don't want two big things to release too close to each other.
Yeah, and then also AJ Steers, $10 super chat says, Nintendo did such a disservice by making this a teaser without specs versus doing a full hardware reveal. Now we have to wait months to be underwhelmed a second time. So, I don't know.
I think people are insane for thinking they're going to be underwhelmed for the specs, and not for nothing. I think we're going to be more impressed than you realize.
We're getting a phone call right now.
Okay, I'm doing a show right now.
Okay, but I want to tell you, we're getting a phone call. Like, do you want to take it?
You want me to
no?
just stop and take a phone call?
That's up to you, buddy. Like, if you want to.
Okay.
We could do it.
It better be important.
I hope so. Hello?
It's a Discord call?
It is, yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Whoa.
Jesus.
I turned him up because I
Hello? Who is this? Who's calling?
Oh, sorry, was it too loud? Hello, this is Arlo.
Oh, wait, how'd you get this number?
First time caller.
What are you?
Long time hater, first time caller.
Who?
Yeah.
Who is this?
The our Cookie Monster.
Oh, right, that guy. Sesame Street. I heard you guys got canceled.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? Not yet.
Not yet. How are you, buddy?
Up?
How are you? How you going?
I'm doing really well. You know what? I just wanted to say I've been listening to Spawncast for years, and it's great to finally be on the show.
Yeah, that's actually not me. That's Spawn Wave and like RGT and stuff like that. You might be getting confused because RGT started his own podcast and the branding looked exactly like this one.
Very similar.
People get that mixed up all the time.
Yeah, like the waveform behind you there. Yeah.
He actually called his. So my YouTube video was called "The Nintendo Switch is Finally Here." It is not in any way a special title. His podcast episode from yesterday was "The Nintendo Switch is Finally Here." I was like, okay.
You don't get to get a monopoly on the word finally.
No, not at all. It's just funny. I find it funny. Arlo.
Yeah, there's a lot of cross. I've done that before too. We get a lot. There's a lot of like, it's the same news. And we're all sharing
it's the most generic. It's the most generic thing.
It ends up being the same.
I was trying to figure out a title for this podcast episode, and I was like, do I just call it the same thing? It's finally here. Like, what else is there to say?
Let's go for it.
I want to know, Arlo. I watched your reaction as soon as you put it up. Which, by the way, when I watched it, you were on trending. You were on gaming trending with your reaction. So congrats for that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then you also put up a more thoughtful, broken down, edited version of a reaction. You also streamed, and then you also talked about Mario Kart on topic, Arlo. So I think you're as excited for this as I am. It's a huge day. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how you feel about this whole reveal. Is it underwhelming? Are you excited? Are you giddy? Are you nervous?
I mean, like I'm not gonna lie. Like the excitement was tempered a little bit by all of the leaks, and I kind of want to do a video just kind of like discussing that. So it's like, sure, it wasn't as like crazy exciting as like an actual genuinely new thing, but I also just don't really care. Because I really do just want a more powerful Switch with brand new games with nicer graphics. That's really all I actually want. And now that like it's finally becoming real, I'm happy. You know, I'm totally happy.
I know. I'm honestly so excited. It's funny because like looking at all the leaks leading up to it, it was everything we were hoping, right? Like all we wanted is that it was a more powerful Switch. So seeing all the leaks confirming it, that was so exciting. But then when Nintendo finally gets to reveal it, it's like, yeah, we know. We already know.
Yeah, no, we know all this.
What do you think about
with the games? We want to see the. I mean, we're lucky we got the Mario Kart.
Oh,
we're lucky we got anything.
That was a really nice surprise. At least they had that to share with us and keep secret. Because I've been talking about for years now that Mario Kart would be a great release game, but it actually hasn't. That wasn't leaked, so it was nice to have an actual surprise at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, it's all but guaranteed that it's going to be a launch game. It'd be it's the Nintendo game.
I
It's
know.
like it's the one. It's the one that most people are going to buy with a Nintendo system. So just give it to us on launch day, and that leaves a whole entire generation for like DLC and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know, you're so right. It's just releasing a new Switch or even a new console in general with a multiplayer game. Not only that, the best-selling game of the previous generation multiplayer game. I don't think a console has ever released with a big multiplayer game before, like first party. It's going to explode. Like, we're going to be playing it and streaming it and making content with it, which is all free promotion for Nintendo. Like, friends and families are going to be picking it up to play together. Oh, it's such a good idea. I think Nintendo are nailing it.
It is because, yeah, I mean, like, even the original Switch, the whole idea of you can detach the Joy-Cons and do it multiplayer. And, the original Switch, like, Zelda was a great launch day game.
Yeah.
But then, like, as far as, like, detached Joy-Con thing, it's like, okay, like, 1-2 Switch, I guess. But it's like, no, we're playing Mario Kart. There are going to be the biggest, craziest Mario Kart parties. Everyone's going to be streaming it. Yeah, no, you're right. It's going to be a huge thing.
By the way, according to somebody in chat, and I'm trusting them, that they saw in the trailer that it looks like it's 24 carts.
24 starting spots were in the trailer, yeah.
I love that we even got major confirmation of new stuff about the game, even just from literally a few seconds of gameplay.
Yeah,
we got confirmation of 24 carts and some sort of brand new mechanic.
I know, and also Donkey Kong's different. He looks so different.
And DK's different.
I'm gonna pull all that up later. But then you also think about the launch year, or at least hopefully, you got Metroid Prime, which I think might come in holiday season, which would be so sick to top off the year. We have Pokemon ZA, a new Pokemon game launching in the first year as well. I mean, you're hitting Mario Kart, Pokemon, and Metroid in the first year, and that's just without any other secrets that we don't know about.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are going to be other, like, I still believe Pokemon and Metroid probably, I mean, at least according to rumors, will still just be Switch 1 games. So then if you add on top of that, like, all of the new Switch 2 games that they're going to announce on April 2nd, which I'm basically 100% sure a 3D Mario is going to, they always have 3D Mario in the first year. At least they have for so many years.
Well, it's true. So much of this console does feel a little bit like history repeating itself with the Switch 1. And at first year of Switch 1, we got Odyssey in the holiday season first year. So if we get Odyssey 2 in the holiday season of this year, the year that we're currently in, the year of our Lord, 2025, oh, God, that would be so exciting.
I would love that.
Yeah, I know.
I have given up hope on Odyssey 2. I don't think it's going to be Odyssey 2. I think it'll be something new, but I mean, that's still exciting too. Just whatever it is, it's going to be big. It's going to be the biggest Mario ever. I have no doubt.
Yeah, I guess I should clarify. I don't know if it's Odyssey 2. That's where my brain goes, but a new Mario game in general. After that 3D World, I'm excited to see where they go with Mario, because 3D World was so promising with like the no load times. No, what was it? Bowser's Fury, Bowser's Fury.
Oh, I love Bowser's Fury. So
yeah, there was like
who even knows where their mind is?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. They could have so many things planned. I want to ask you as well quickly. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen articles online of people saying that this is the most underwhelming new Switch console because there's no real big change or gimmick. Like the creativity of Nintendo surprising us with something new and wacky is gone. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's what's happened?
The only thing I can say about that is good.
Okay, elaborate.
Good. It's only a good thing. This is what they needed to do. I mean, even the Switch, the hybrid concept was novel, and it was new, but it was still purely practical.
Yeah, it
wasn't wacky. It wasn't like charming and colorful. Like Nintendo made it kind of charming and colorful, but no, like you can look back at the Nintendo charm and kind of, I also have a whole video coming out about this, but like, sure, the Nintendo charm and wackiness was fun, but like you can't have that at the expense of success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Like, they nailed it with the Switch. It was it's all their ideas compiled into one console. And why reinvent the wheel? You just need to improve it at that point. Why? There's no reason to go and make some wacky, new, crazy home console with silly, like a Kinect situation.
I agree. I think it's a smart direction to not go
Yeah.
too out of the box in this one. Like, they added a few new features and we like that, and it's going to be improved. It's going to be great. I'm excited. So,
Have you seen all the Switch 3 leaks and rumors yet, Arlo?
Give it like 1 year.
Yeah, I know, right?
1 year, it'll be Switch 2 Pro.
I was going to make a video actually telling people what to expect of the launch, like few months of this new console. People essentially saying it's going to be underpowered and like the faults and like this is going to be an issue. Because I don't know if you remember, but remember when the Switch 1 came out and like everyone was like, don't dock your Switch, it's going to scratch the screen, or don't do this, don't do that. People are already day one talking about that little sticky out bit in the middle of the Joy-Con holder snapping off and breaking. Have you seen that?
I have seen that. And I mean, like, I'm not saying there will definitely be no issues, but I do think that like they had so much more R&D time for this system. The Switch was a little rushed because they were kind of in a desperate position. They've had more time for this one. Sure, there might end up being issues. There might be an issue with that connector, but like, I'm gonna just wait until it is a problem before I got. Life's too short to worry about this. Let's wait and see if it's a problem before we worry about the problem.
I know, worrying about it now it's just so funny. Like now of all times, it's day one. Let's hold on. Let's hold on.
A lot of armchair hardware experts on Twitter. So
I think it started because there were a lot of repair.
Leave that to us.
Leave that to us. Let us do the clickbait later. All right. Well, I know you didn't have too much time, so I don't want to keep you. I guess.
Yeah, I guess I should go.
Well, I honestly want to keep you. I could have you the whole episode, but if you
I mean, okay, I don't know. People listening probably don't even remember who I am anymore. It's been so long.
What the hell are you talking?
What
the hell?
We literally got a super chat. We got a super chat from someone who's just appreciative of the fact that you're here.
What do you mean no one knows who you are anymore? You were on Gaming Trending yesterday with your reaction of the Switch 2. I didn't get to trending.
I've been meaning to come on this show for 100 million billion years, and I keep telling Wood I was going to do it. And I mean, people I think understand by now. I have a lot of collabs I want to do, and I'm just very flaky. So it's been so long. So it does stink I have to go because there is so much work to do, especially with all these announcements. However, I feel like we've broken the ice. I feel like this is good.
The ice is shattered, my friend.
It's shattered, and I'm going to come back, and I want to do a full episode. I can't guarantee when.
I know, buddy. Look, you're on the other side of the country. It's tough. I was pushing to get you in person, which is also very tough. And right now, the Switch 2 just released. It's the busiest time of your and my career, and you took the time to come on this show today of all times. I can't say thank you enough.
Well, I'll just say I'm very generous.
Yeah, you're such a generous man.
No, I do want to come back. I really do. Let's do a full thing. I like... Everybody, if it's too long, if it's like another year goes by, like don't let that happen. I'm giving everybody permission to harass me on social media.
Oh God, you don't open those doors. If a year goes by, I'll come to you. How's that sound?
Tastefully harass me and remind me that I promised I would come back and actually do a full episode.
I'll hold you to it. All right, buddy. I'll let you get out of here. Thank you so much. I loved hearing your thoughts. I'm so excited. Let's do a main channel collab at some point too with the Switch 2 stuff.
I would love to. I really would.
I'm just locking you in.
Whenever I say later, I would love to. I would love to.
Mm-hmm. All right, buddy. You get out of here. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Arlo.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Oh man, I love him.
What a nice cereal box.
Cereal box? I don't get it.
I forgot that you don't talk.
Is that a Cookie Monster thing?
No, it was a SpongeBob thing.
Okay. Me and Arlo actually have a really fun friendship. We message each other sporadically. It'll go a few months will go by, and then randomly we'll just start chatting, and we'll chat for like a day or two and catch up. He's a really awesome guy. But it's so hard to nail him down for any kind of collab, which I completely understand because I don't collab with anybody either. I always feel like a pain with the podcast because I'm that guy that with my friends, they never know when I'm going to be like, can you do the podcast? It's such, I feel so annoying. Because also like Arlo and I, we randomly started chatting a day or two ago just because I wanted to see how he was doing. Actually, he messaged me even. And then last night we were talking and I was like, can you come, you want to do the podcast tomorrow? And I never want people to think that's why I'm talking with them. Because it's not.
Right.
It's not. I just feel annoying. Asking
you said
someone
a couple days ago, though, right? So you guys made contact pre-Switch 2 release, so that means it's real.
Yeah, it was pre. Yeah, I was telling him that we're about to be very busy because the 16th was coming up.
Yeah,
I always get so excited for, obviously myself, when the actual news happens, like actual big stuff is coming on the horizon, but also for my friends and like especially creators like Arlo, because there's something about him that people just flock to him for his opinion on Nintendo stuff. Like it's their first stop. Like they'll check in on Arlo, and then maybe they'll check in on me if they if they have any time left over to see my reaction, which I love.
Give yourself a little credit, you know. I think people are.
People come to me for a lot of things. With Arlo, it's reactions. It's that immediate. How did Arlo react to this? Like he has that on lock because his reactions are always goated. Yeah. I mean, his laugh and his excitement squeals are next level. I can't provide that.
Big shouts out, Arlo.
I just can't. I love the man. All right, let's keep going down my list of. I have so many things to talk about. We haven't even scratched the surface of all of this.
Would you mind just turning the laptop slightly to the right? That way, I can see what's on your screen and I can be ready. To cut.
No problem, buddy. Hey, you're doing a great job.
You're doing a great job.
There's something about like the staff that I hire. They go through an excruciating process of rigorous interviews and skill testing to actually be a part of the show.
Are we going to talk about this
and
now?
I do think you are my favorite staff member that I have.
Yeah.
I think Kim, close second. In the hierarchy of staff. If I was to do a tier list, you would be S.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's only 2 people right now, really. Well, Max would be S plus.
Sure, yeah.
And then you.
Dude, people were really giving us a hard time about how you and I interact with each other last time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's worth mentioning, by the way. Like, you and I are always good. Like, even
we're besties.
Yeah. Like we're Gucci. Like
Ham and I have gotten really, really close. If you can't tell.
Yeah. So I think it's important to on a very serious note. We're friends more than anything else, right?
We shouldn't have to say it.
We shouldn't have to say it. I don't come here for my own entertainment, right? Like I come here because I want to be here. You came here
on a dime today because
you hit me up last night while I was playing Get to Work for 5 hours on stream.
You were streaming,
right?
and I messaged you. I called you, and I was like, "Can you come do the podcast tomorrow?" Because we weren't supposed to do the podcast this week.
And I just said, "Yeah, absolutely."
I
miss it. I miss coming here. You know?
I know. We kept talking about when to bring it back, but I'm working on. I told the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, I'm working on all new music and new graphics and and we have a new intro, which you might have seen. That was fine. That was ready, but the music wasn't ready. Eric, who made the original theme songs, working on new music, and I wanted to wait.
Yeah.
But then all this happened, and I was too excited, and I am in a really good mood. I'm very excited right now about this. So I don't want to get too negative, but I will say
it's all very positive.
We did a 2-hour special Christmas holiday episode, which I thought we had so much fun doing.
We did.
And then after it ends, all the comments come in, and everyone's like, the one of the top ones that we kept laughing about through Christmas when we were hanging out through Christmas as friends at the Christmas holiday village,
holiday market. Yeah.
It was Wood is so toxic to his staff.
Yeah.
I'm in the room with you and my wife Kim.
Yeah.
Toxic to his staff. Yeah, I don't know.
It's messed up, dude. It's messed up.
I don't know. People have a perception of me, and it's usually just on the podcast, and I don't. It's obviously something that I am exuding, so I am the problem. I don't know what it is, but I love the people in this room. I love the people watching, and I love this podcast, and I keep pushing through making this podcast, even though seemingly half the people watching can't stand me.
Yeah.
Don't
get too negative, all right?
No, I'm not. But Ham did say before we went live, what was it you said? You said, like, why is it that you joke constantly on the podcast, and I get it, but no one else seems to understand that you're kidding.
It is. The point that I'm trying to make is that we are friends, right? And I'm more than just a staff member of this podcast, okay? So I need everybody to get that out of their head, okay? And not just consider me to be a staff member.
Holy.
Doing a Jordan fringe. I'm doing the t-shirt bit.
Where did
that
come from? You
Amazon?
were wearing a different shirt earlier. You were wearing a...
Yeah, I changed.
Did you make that for this episode?
No, I just searched staff shirt on Amazon.
That's so funny.
It was $7.
I don't know how I feel about that shirt. I haven't ran that by HR.
Okay. Well,
you might be on thin ice.
That's fine.
You
We'll
might be getting
talk about it. Yeah.
You might be getting written up for that one.
Written up, maybe fired again.
Actually, can you mute the mics for a second?
Okay.
Like legitimately mute the mic. So anyway, talking about these these leaks here. Where were we at?
I don't know.
I don't know what we're doing.
You said
anymore.
you were looking through your doc or whatever.
All right. So the doc, yeah, I had talking about the Switch breaking. My Twitter thoughts post reveal. Oh, this was bizarre. Actually, someone pointed this out. You can cut to my screen. Oh, you already did. Great job.
I did it after you said it, so
okay.
I won't give myself that much credit.
I was about to be so proud of my staff. Switch 2 stock tweeted, has anyone noticed this in the Switch 2 trailer? So the trailer is 2 minutes and 22 seconds long for the Switch 2.
Right.
And the April 2nd presentation is 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days away.
Oh.
How freaky is that?
Interesting. A lot of twos.
That has to be on purpose, right? Like,
is there going to be something on 2/22?
2/22. What is 2/22?
February 22nd?
Maybe look out if something Nintendo or Switch related happens on Feb 22nd. That would be interesting. Yeah, I just thought that had to be on purpose. There's no way you line up that many 2/22s on accident, right?
Maybe not. It could be a coincidence, but who knows?
I mean, of course, anything's possible in the eyes of our Lord, but to release it 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days away, I don't know, man. That's just so accidentally awesome if that is not on purpose.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Keep a keen eye on Feb 22nd. Yeah. You're hearing it from me first. Cut to me. I am Nate the Hate now. Nintendo will give us their next update on February 22nd at 2:22 p.m.
I guess we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
2:22 p.m. Tokyo time. Make sure you guys are paying attention.
I wonder if it was 2:22 anywhere in the world when they released the trailer.
Maybe.
Someone look into that. Someone visit that for me.
It's 2:22 somewhere, you know?
We talked about this with Arlo, and I think, honestly, he hit the nail on the head, so we don't really even have to go down this avenue. But Eurogamer put out an article. If Switch 2 is the end of innovation of Nintendo, there's much to be sad about. I gotta be honest. Not read the room.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. God, how do I articulate this? You can cut away. We don't even need to show that anymore. So negativity sells. And a lot in my career, I have leaned into negativity in titles and stuff like that because people will always click on negativity. So that's what they're doing here. They've just found a way to spin the Switch 2 release as negative. I am way too excited about this thing to care. When I was going live, I asked Ham what the title should be. And I think you said something like the biggest issue with the Switch 2 release or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, I can't even do that right now. I don't even want to. Like, could I lean into like, it's gonna break. This little thing is like a failure point. It's the innovation is dead and Nintendo aren't being creative anymore. Could I? Sure. I have this little spinny magnet on the table.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's very cool.
It's really cool. Could I? Sure. I don't want to. I want to have a brief few months where everything is happy.
I think I was more suggesting that you do clickbait and be like, this is the biggest issue with the Switch 2.
No, I knew what you were doing.
And then the issue is that it's not coming soon enough, you know?
No, that wasn't to throw you under the bus. I knew what you were doing. But yeah, like even to clickbait it, I don't even want to. I think people are so excited about this right now that just talking about it in a fun, I'm excited way is enough.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be like, this thing's going to suck to get a click. I think now people are excited.
It would have been nice if it were called the Super Switch still, you know?
We could talk about the name, actually. I might have had that in my doc. I'm not sure if I did. Let's do this. Let's bring up, I did a Twitter thread with because I wanted to make another video. I wanted to talk about the Switch 2 more so badly. And in the end, I was like, screw it. Let's just do a Twitter thread. So you can bring it up, but it's just me. I said, Nintendo Switch 2 is the perfect name, even if it's not a conventional Nintendo naming scheme. Avoiding a Wii U situation was the utmost priority. Making the console an improved version of Switch 1 was also the perfect move. No need to reinvent the wheel, just make it better. So this is my main thinking on this. Would I have loved it to be called Super Switch? Yes. I think it's such a great name. I do think it is the antithesis of what this console is going to be. It is the Super Switch. And in my mind, the Switch was Nintendo reinventing themselves, saving themselves of a gaming company, introducing and innovating a new way to play games in the gaming space, just like the NES did. So to have a sequel come out like the Super Nintendo did, Super Nintendo Switch was so synonymous. It was so perfect, I think. But the issue is, it's not super, ironically, clear. We can cut away. Clear what that is.
Right.
Like for 99, or not even 99, I would say for 80% of people, it is clear what that is.
It's clear because for 80% of people, it's a nostalgic move.
Yes.
Right. But nostalgia doesn't sell to a wider market.
Exactly.
And that's probably why they did it the way they did.
They didn't want to appeal just to the people that would understand what they were doing or even understand what the Super Switch is. They wanted to appeal to every single person. Every single person. Even if it was 99%, they wanted to appeal even to the 1% that this is not the Switch 1, this is the Switch 2.
Right.
You know what that means. There's no mistaking it. You don't have to be a mom and walk into GameStop and be like, so is the Super Switch a new thing or is it
just
an
a
old
better
thing?
version of the old one?
Does it play the same games? Forget all of that.
Yeah.
Forget all of that. Nintendo Switch 2.
It's true.
I think it's exactly what they should have done. The only reason I was leaning into thinking they might not do it is they've never done it.
Yeah.
They've never done a number.
Right.
It's pretty synonymous with PlayStation at this point, that they number their systems. Even Xbox doesn't number their systems. So I thought Nintendo might be innovative and do like a Super Nintendo, but it's very clear they just want it to be clear.
Right.
And honestly, it is the best thing for them to do. Is it the
is.
coolest?
Yeah.
Is it the most fun?
No.
No. Is it the best thing?
Probably,
Yes.
yeah. For sure.
That's honestly how I feel.
The point about the moms in GameStop is definitely something I was thinking about. It's just like,
Yeah.
you know, you're thinking about what to get your kid as a gift for Christmas or their birthday or whatever, right? And then you hear that there's this Switch 2 thing, right? And like, if you hear there's a Super Switch, you're like, well, my kid's already got a Switch. I don't need to get him a better version of that. And then they're just mistaken. They don't understand that it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Whereas they hear there's a Switch 2 is like, oh, well, I could just get him the new thing, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or her, sorry.
Or her. When that happens, I feel like it's because you're just talking in first person.
What? So
You're
I use gendered language for my own. Yeah,
I think you're putting yourself into the mind of like when you were a kid.
that's true. Yeah,
That's
that
what
makes
I
sense.
do. That happens to me.
That makes sense.
I don't know why I even mentioned it. It's just that happens to me all the time.
Yeah,
Where I'm like, or her, and then my brain goes, that's just because I'm a guy. I was thinking of me.
yeah. But we're trying to be inclusive. You know, we're trying.
We are inclusive.
Yeah.
There will be more console surprise. This is just me continuing the thread. There will be more console surprises and hidden features to come, but being able to use the Joy-Con as a mouse opens up the Switch 2 library to more genres of games, even the possibility of new types of games. So I talked about this in my leak video, but this is something I'm doing more for like Twitter space for anyone that didn't see the video, people that don't know who I am. So again, using the Joy-Con as a mouse, there is a weak point on the Switch 1. A conversation I remember having at PAX with the developer of a really fun point-and-click game that I think a lot of my audience would really love. I asked him, why is it not on Switch? And he said, because my game really requires a mouse, and I don't feel like the touchpad or the other ways of engaging, I feel like it detracts from my game and doesn't really have the same feeling, so I just don't want to release it on the console. And there are a lot of games like that that could come over, but don't. On top of that, we think about games like Sims. Where's the Sims on Switch? It's a perfect game to have on Switch in the same way that Animal Crossing is or any cozy sim game is, but there's no actual Sims, and it's because it would be kind of a nightmare to play The Sims.
They've just been making the dumbed down version of Sims for consoles.
Yeah,
for
the
so
console
long now.
versions always kind of suck.
Yeah.
But if you add in a mouse, now you can have Sims.
Yeah.
You could also maybe even look at games like Call of Duty. Call of Duty was probably the biggest game and franchise missing from the Switch. You can play that with a pad and a controller, so there's no reason for it not to come over, but it does give people another option if they want to try using it as a mouse. And depending on how well it glides and what accessories come with it, you can quite literally, all you need is this optical sensor.
Right.
You house this whole console, this whole Joy-Con in something that is a mouse. Now you just have a mouse.
Give me a, let me
Now
feel
you
how
just
that
have a
feels.
mouse, and you're just using a mouse.
This is
with
just
your
a
games.
regular Joy-Con. Okay.
Now
I'm just
could.
trying to see like how it feels like to.
It also puts everyone on a level playing field
You know,
if you're playing online.
Just trying to do this with my hand right now. Was skeptical about like how it would feel to use a vertical thing as a mouse, but this feels fine. You know?
Honestly, I think
Like-
it feels fine even on its own.
Yeah.
But you add in the fact that there will be accessories for this,
Right.
and there will be things that just 3D print and turn it. I could right now take a mouse 3D print that's already designed. I could take a Joy-Con 3D print, stick it inside, delete the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
I could probably just 3D print my own right now.
You should do that. You should actually do that as like this is a potential Switch 2 accessory.
Maybe I should do that as a
like something
that's
that
a
gives it
perfect
more
short.
something that gives it more of a bottom, like as a mouse would be a nice like
Love a good bottom.
love a good bottom. We love a good bottom here at the Nontendo podcast. By the way, $10 or 10 some currency super chat for it's Australian dollars from Gandamus Gandamus, I don't know, can't read names, says g'day guys.
Did he actually write good, eh?
He did.
My God.
Loving this show.
Australians.
I wonder if we'll ever I'll stop. I wonder if we'll ever be
Please.
able to do upgrades of games like PlayStation did with PS4 to PS5 with upscaling of graphics.
Oh, there's so many
launch
things
titles.
to talk about. We could do a
Yeah.
4-hour episode.
We could. I don't really
Can you put
have time for
a
that,
pin in that? Don't let me forget.
Okay.
How much time do you have today?
We can go. I'm down to do
Put a
it a
pin
little
in
bit
that, don't
longer.
let me
I
forget.
have to go home tonight, but like
That's fine.
I don't
I'll
have
get
anything
you
to do
home.
today.
The last thing I want to say about the mouse, and I put it here, e.g. new mini games in Mario Party. So when I was talking to somebody who has seen a Switch 2, whoever that may be,
Yeah.
they said the optical sensor, they've seen, screw it, I'm just going to say it. They've seen it be used for mini games.
Oh.
So there was something about tracing a line, drawing and tracing. That's all I know. That this new sensor and the new like way of using it. Now it might also be used as a mouse, and I think that's probably possible. But they've also seen new mini games being used with it.
You know, that kind of begs the question for me, and I don't want to like drive you too far off topic, but like, what if there was like an Apple Pencil type thing, like a separate accessory for Switch 2, like an Apple Pencil type like stylus?
I am kind of wondering if Nintendo have a lot of like accessory type devices and other things that we even using the current hardware that we've seen in ways we don't expect.
Right.
Because like, for example, what kind of rumble is in it?
Yeah.
We had HD rumble before. Is there a new version? Is there something else in this console? Does it have any kind of haptic feedback? There's magnets in it now. Is there anything that like creates resistance when you play a game? Like, I'm just speaking out of, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The possibilities are endless.
The possibilities could be
But the thing
endless.
is, though, like I have high expectations for that sort of thing because while the people are saying shit like, oh, like it's underwhelming, that like it's just a new version of the same thing. It's like I still think that the possibilities for
There's
innovation,
possibilities. Yeah.
the possibilities for innovation with software and with haptics, with accessories, like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
There's so much that you
I
could do.
agree.
But like having the console be what it is because it works properly and it does what it needs to do is good.
I think
So-
Nintendo knows that to some extent they're known for innovation and new wacky things. I think what they have done is they've made the Switch 2 a better Switch 1, and they found ways to make things wacky within the confines of what already worked.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we're gonna have to wait and see. The mice thing is the first sign of that, I think.
Right.
Then I go on to say, I like reading this because it's helping me get this is what I wanted to say in a video, which is why I'm reading my own tweets. I'm
Sure.
sorry if that's a bit weird,
Yeah,
but
go
it's
for it.
helping me keep my thoughts on
Do it.
track. Not to mention giving players a multiplayer game day one encourages families and friends to buy the console so they can play together, and then content creators and streamer culture to provide free promotion for Nintendo as they stream. We talked about that with Arlo, and I think all of that is true. Also, I want to say this very clearly right now, even though I already said it in my video and I've said it a million times before. Mario Kart on Switch is the best-selling Switch game. It sold something like 50 million copies, and it's not even a Switch game. It outsold everything else. So if you want to launch with a game that could beat the Switch 1's release, it's not Mario Odyssey 2. It's not a new Zelda. It's not anything. It's not even a new Animal Crossing. It's quite literally a new Mario Kart. And the addition of multiplayer, it begets more people buying the console to play with more people. It's brilliant.
Can I make a hot take prediction?
Yeah.
It's not going to be called Mario Kart 9.
I think it's Mario Kart 10 or Mario Kart Rainbow Road, Mario Kart Infinity,
something new,
Mario Kart Ultimate. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
9 is so underwhelming.
It's underwhelming. It's an underwhelming number
for sure.
Yeah, especially even it's silly, but even after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
right?
If you lose the Deluxe word and now you just have Mario Kart 9, it feels like, well, I'll wait for the Deluxe.
Right.
I think you need to go. You're right.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be Mario Kart 10, Mario Kart Infinity, Mario Kart. I heard a rumor of Mario Kart Rainbow Road, but it was some like 4chan leak. But that is kind of a cool name. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I just said, this is my dream Switch 2 launch. The last thing on my thread was the color is sick. So I actually have really come around when I was making my leak video and I saw Genki leak those black ones with the blue and what looked like orange for a long time. I always was like, why orange? That was weird to begin with. Obviously, it was wrong. But I didn't know how I felt about those. I think I've dropped my fake one down there. But
I really do. I want it to be in white and black. Like, I hope that they.
So yeah, that's another thing.
Both.
We don't know right now if there's 2 SKUs. It definitely doesn't seem like it. But here's what I love about this. You can cut to this for a second. So this is, it's so obvious. I know it is. Sorry, let me get all my thoughts out. That's taking the blue and red neon original Joy-Cons, but making them adult, making them feel like that upgrade. It's also, initially we had the gray SKU and the neon SKU. It's black, but it's like those 2 SKUs have come together.
Right.
And I love that because Nintendo, the original console, as I said, was all of Nintendo's ideas coming together for like a new console, the new hybrid. And then this is like the improvement while taking Switch's 1 ideas and putting those together as well.
Right.
So we're just building and building and building on top of what was already there. Yeah. And I think it looks really nice. I love the black look of it. It's really cool.
Yeah. I think that like, for me personally, like, I like a little bit more color. Like I would have been happier to see like, I don't think it needs to necessarily be multiple colors. I think that like this is too much, right? There's a lot going on here, right? But if I could get the whole thing in like a bright color, I would like that.
Obviously there'll be special editions down the line.
Sure.
We honestly don't know yet if there is another color. If there is a white, I do think white looks very nice. Yep. I think they might not have shown off a white because it's too close to the OLED, but maybe it'll be an option closer to launch.
Right.
I understand what you're saying though. If this is the only one, you would have liked a bit more color.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand that. I mean, color and art. I mean, this is art in a way, is subjective. So I get that.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think for me, I mean, I've said it already, but whenever all these like new handhelds, these more adult, like powerful ones, they lean into this black sleek look. We've seen the ROG Ally go from white to black, and I think the black was a clear improvement. I saw the Steam Deck go in the opposite direction and make a white one, and I kind of didn't like it. I think the black one looks nicer. So personally, this is for me right now, but I'm excited to see special editions too.
Yeah. I think something else notable.
Because imagine this all in gold.
I'm going to cut to you again, right?
Imagine this all in a gold Switch.
True, yeah. But see, the other thing to mention here is that when you snap the Joy-Cons in the way that you are with this, right? It's different from the sliding action, obviously. But what that does for the overall look of it when the Joy-Cons are on is that it makes everything looks like it's more seamlessly connected, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that sort of speaks to a lot of potential for I I guess, clashing with different kinds of Joy-Cons connected to a different kind of Switch, right? So like if you were to connect a black Joy-Con to a white Switch, it might look like it's like very like, you know, like a staggering difference between the screen and the actual like Joy-Con itself.
Well, how does it work on the previous Switch with the white Joy-Con?
Because I think that on the previous Switch, right, like the transition between Joy-Con and the actual console itself, it doesn't feel like it's one seamless unibody thing, right? Yeah, no, I'm because you see like the rounded edges, right?
Cut to me and like let's see what you're talking about here.
Yeah, because you see like the rounded edges. It's more obvious on the original Switch, but you could still kind of see it with the LED, the OLED. The rounded edges of the tablet itself, right? Like make it look like it's its own thing that the Joy-Cons are connected to. Whereas if you were to hold up this guy right here, the other guy, this is a rock. What is this?
The Lenovo Legion Go.
Yeah, Lenovo is more like this, right? Where it looks like it's all one thing, but the Joy-Cons just happen to come off of it, right?
I'm not following.
It's a stylistic thing for me. It's hard to say. It's hard to like really explain. But
I don't
like,
think I'm visualizing what you're trying to explain.
Go back to on the thing. Show the whole thing connected, right? Like on the video. Yeah. Yeah, so like the whole thing looks like it just kind of like you see the borders of the screen, right? Are like matched with the Joy-Cons.
By the way, how nice is that screen?
It's a nice screen.
It's actually like my screen, not Genki's screen.
Right.
Which is why I was saying in my video, I don't know why Genki made their bezel so big.
What I'm saying is that's going to look weird if it's a black Switch with white Joy-Cons. Like if you connect different Joy-Cons to your original Switch.
So I just feel like, and I'm not trying to be a pain, but I feel like it's no different. Cut to me. Is that no different? Is that just the same thing?
It's different for me because it's not the same material on the screen as you see on the Joy-Con, right? Like the edge of the screen on the Switch 2.
I'm just gonna agree with you.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, I'm not getting it.
Whatever. What's your next point?
I'm sorry. I don't want them to think I'm being a dick. I'm really not understanding.
It's
like baseline.
It's literally it's just the bezel on the screen. The bezel on the screen matches the Joy-Cons.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas they're really the bezel on the screen on the Switch too, or on the original Switch and the OLED is like glossy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you don't expect them to look the same.
So this looks different.
Yeah.
And that looks the same.
Yes.
And you don't like that it looks the same anymore.
No, I like that it looks the same, but I'm saying it's going to look weird if you, because everyone buys 10 different like pairs of Joy-Cons, right? It's going to look weird.
Yeah. But like Joy-Cons come in so many different colors that every single one is going to look different to this anyway.
Sure.
So the only difference here is everything's going to look different except the ones they come with, which are going to match perfectly.
Yes. That's sort of my point. But I don't like that. I like that the Joy-Cons are a different thing from the screen, you know?
Okay, so you don't like that the base one, you don't like that it's a uniformed color.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. Okay. That's sort of what I'm saying.
I'm glad we figured it out.
I'm sorry it took me so long to get there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think I wasn't getting it because that's a little bizarre to me because I think if that inside ring it's connected to was a different color, it would look worse to me.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Cool. We got there. You feel good about it?
I like a lot of variety. I like a lot because I'm used to everything. Like I'm used to there being like having 2 different color Joy-Cons on my Switch, you know, like that's me. So
yeah, no. I assume that'll be a thing.
Right.
Like definitely you'll have all kinds of different colors to attach to and you can get rid of those original ones as quickly as you want.
No, I know that. I understand.
You can also I would assume you could use these Joy-Cons on it too because it's backwards compatible.
Right. Is it? Wait. We gotta stop. What?
The Switch 2 is backwards compatible with the Switch 1.
Okay.
So you'll
all
be
right.
able to
All
use
right. I
these
see.
Joy-Cons.
Yeah, we're making a joke here, but I missed it for the first 3 seconds.
I'm not making a joke right now. I think these will be backwards compatible.
How? How would that? What are you talking about?
You think the new Switch won't have Bluetooth or whatever it is they connect?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that makes sense.
I think these will be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be good because if you pick up a Switch day one and you want to play Mario Kart with your little brother and you already have a Switch one, you give him these Joy-Cons.
I don't know. Maybe it won't be though. You know?
There's a chance it won't be because the PlayStation 5 doesn't support PlayStation 4 controllers. Is that true? But I think the Xbox supports backwards compatible on controllers.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is supposed to be compatible with every Switch 1 game. So if we assume things like Labo and anything with an IR reader would want to work, you would need the old Joy-Cons.
Well, they said it's some in
I know.
an asterisk,
I know.
right? I would think that Labo would be the only thing, like one of the
Well,
only
in
things
that
that doesn't
case,
work.
if Labo's not supported, it's because these aren't supported.
Yeah.
That's my only guess.
It's also because it's built around the actual like original Switch size.
And Joy-Con size, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Wow, what a tangent, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, can we quickly, and by quickly I mean I'll probably take forever.
Take as much time as you need, brother.
Over the last year of this podcast, since we changed formats and it went to one host less, I'm just focusing on that time, right? I've done several episodes on the Switch 2 and following the leaks and rumors that have developed in that space around the console coming out. Now, almost every single time I made one of those videos and I went live on this podcast, comments would flood in with clickbait, or that I was milking Switch 2 rumors, or that there was a nefarious means behind me doing it in some way for the podcast. Now, that was insane to me at the time because this is a Nintendo-themed podcast, and the biggest news in some of those weeks that we went live was that, hey, right now, you can see what the Switch 2 looks like before Nintendo has revealed it. And I think it is honestly, and excuse me swearing for one of those rare moments, batshit insane if I went live with this podcast, ignored that was happening, and then just did a top 10 list on my favorite Mario games.
We did do some 10 lists.
We did some 10 lists. Obviously, I had to follow those leaks, but something that I try really hard in my career across all of my platforms is not promoting or talking about or sharing rumors or leaks that are clearly false. Right. And that's just me personally. There are a lot of channels out there that will upload daily Switch 2 leaks, and they'll take any 4chan, Reddit, hidden backwater internet rumor or leak, and they'll put it in the title and thumbnail, and then they'll talk about how it's probably not true, this is fake, blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to do that ever.
Yeah.
I really only wanted to make a thumbnail and title about a Switch leak if I felt very confident that what we were looking at is the actual thing, that it has some sort of shred of proof or legitimacy, or it was just so interesting that it was worthy of actually talking about. Mm-hmm. So what I have done to back this up is I've taken screenshots, and you can cut to me, of every episode of the podcast for the last 9 months, because all these leaks started 9 months ago. How come when I zoom in, I lose my scroll bar? Never mind.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a Mac.
So out of the last 28 episodes we did on the podcast, 9 were about Switch leaks.
Right.
Now, I gotta say, for a Nintendo-themed podcast, when for the last 9 months it's been nothing but Switch leaks,
right,
a third of the episodes,
that's not that bad.
And then 2/3 were me trying to find anything else to talk about.
Right.
I mean, I just want to like relieve myself of some guilt here. So here are all the episodes. So from most recent to back 9 months ago.
Right.
Yep, this is the Switch 2. This was the final episode of the year, the 2-hour special, and it's taking a full look at the console leak that we now know was the actual console.
Right.
I don't know how
on
earth I was to not talk about that
course.
week, but before that, this just is a month ago. I don't know how long ago. This was Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons leaked, but are they real or fake? Where we looked at those blurry alien potato images of the Joy-Cons, which we now know are real. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I was even trying to set it up with, are these real or fake? Which I thought they were real at the time. 2 months ago, so there's a month gap in between those leaks, Nintendo Switch 2 revealed backwards compatibility. This was based on Furukawa's tweet that it was going to be backwards compatible. Huge news. Yeah. Something that I was so excited for, and an actual update from him.
That's not even a leak.
That's not even a leak. I'm saying I put everything with Nintendo Switch 2 in the title for the last 9 months is in here, no matter what it is.
Right.
So where is the Switch 2? So this one was a follow-up on episode 10. You might remember this. This is the one thing we reported on, which, to be fair, at the time, I was like, I don't know about this. It was those
Luigi blood stuff.
No, it was, and I almost want to pull it up because I want to write these people out of being able to give leaks again.
Yeah.
But it was those industry insiders that work in analytics that were saying that Nintendo is ramping up production, so they expected a reveal before the Tokyo Game Awards.
Right.
It was either going to be before the Tokyo Game Awards or just after.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, everyone was talking about that at the time, and they were talking about like a March release or something. And we made an episode talking about that. And then this was after those dates had gone, us being like, so where is it?
Yeah.
Because you said it was going to be here. So those, to be fair, were all based on tweets that went viral, but that were false information.
Right.
I'll give you that one. This one was Nintendo Switch 2 leaked, and it's boring. So this was obvious, but this was the model render that leaked, as well as the shells that leaked.
Right.
All ended up being true. I have the model render sat in front of me. This was that episode 10 where we were looking at the industry insiders. Now, I will say my thumbnail for this one is I photoshopped some ridiculous looking Switch 2 thing because we didn't know. We didn't even have these leaks at that point of what it looked like. So I was kind of just creating something for the thumbnail. Then 5 months ago, Nintendo Switch 2 April release and spec leak. This was me and Dreamcast Guy 5 months ago talking about spec leaks that came out. I actually went back and looked at those spec leaks, and the spec leak said that it was going to have an NVIDIA T239 chip. And as of a month ago, when we saw the motherboard, it has an NVIDIA T239 chip.
Okay.
There were some other things in there that the article was talking about that we don't have any information on yet. So it could be true, it could be false.
Right.
But I found that interesting that was from August. And also predicting an April release, which is obviously wrong now, but we are getting an April direct. So who knows on that one. Then this was 5 months ago, Nintendo Switch 2 big launch titles. This was not even a leak. This was industry insiders talking about how third-party devs were talking about how they regretted not supporting the Switch 1 at the beginning after they saw how much it exploded. So they plan to support the Switch 2 heavier on launch. And since then, we've had tons of articles from all kinds of companies in the gaming industry backing up the same thing and saying that they are going to be supporting Switch. Even right now, we see Microsoft considering putting Halo on the console. And I do feel like this is something that's still happening, and it's still very exciting.
Yeah. Huge, by the way.
Huge, by the way. And then finally, 9 months ago, so there was literally a 3-month window between these. 9 months ago, the Switch 2 is actually 4K 60 FPS. Now, I'll give you this one. This one was a little clickbaity. So this is actually about somebody who modded their OLED Switch to play Breath of the Wild in 4K.
Right.
I spun that into a conversation about the Switch 2 being 4K based on Nintendo taking the Switch 2 to Gamescom or whatever, like 2 years or 3 years ago, and showing Breath of the Wild and Final Fantasy VII and The Matrix Reloaded all in 4K on the console behind closed doors. That's where my whole theory originated about Nintendo using AI upscaling to get to 4K on the new console. And that's everything. And I gotta say, all of that I feel like holds up, even looking at these industry rumors that were blowing up, because all we were doing is saying, do we think it's real? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, it wasn't real.
Yeah. I think the point of all of this is kind of us just saying like, hey guys, we weren't just feeding you a bunch of bullshit this whole time, you know? We weren't trying to do that. Like,
that's 100% it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I don't even want to say clear my name, because I do feel like there are people out there that rope me into the people that abuse Switch 2 leaks and rumors.
right.
And that does bother me a little bit, because on my main channel, I've done one leak video that was like a week ago, and it holds up very well. On my beatemups channel, I don't talk about Nintendo at all. And on a Nintendo-focused gaming podcast where I have to make an episode every week, I did it 9 times throughout 9 months, and every single one holds up. So if I could have any brevity moving forward when it comes to talking about leaks or rumors in the future, I would appreciate it. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to rope me in to all of the leaks, rumors, people that you say milk them for a career, I did the best I could. Right. I did the best I could.
Yeah. Now, having said that, I have confirmation that the Switch 3 is going to be 8K.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Is it AI upscaling or is it native 8K?
I think it's going to be 4K with 8K AI upscaling. It's going to be, I'm very excited for it. This is confirmed, by the way. I have insider sources.
I believe you. And if you're wrong, you're getting fired. So in 10 years from now,
I can live with that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I do see a lot of comments about that. So I just wanted to clear that up on my side of the fence. That I really wasn't trying to lead you guys astray or manipulate you into clicking on videos based on rumors or leaks that I honestly didn't feel were true. I just want to say that I honestly do care about your time. I care about your attention. I care about the love that you give the show and the podcast. And I am not trying to manipulate you with clickbait or false rumors or any of that just to try and get some views to pay some bills. And I hope that helped clear that up for anybody that thought maybe I was doing that. I hope that makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Because I take that stuff very seriously, and I feel like sometimes the podcast gets hate a little roughly about certain things, and some of it's valid. Some of it's valid. Mm-hmm. That one I feel like it might not be, in my opinion. But if you think differently even now, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's like we don't clickbait here. Or sorry, we do clickbait here.
Absolutely.
Is what I'm saying. We do clickbait here. But we're never clickbaiting anything that's we're not confirming anything in a clickbait, you know? Like
everybody online, for the most part. There are definitely creators that get away without being able to clickbait. There are people like Moist Critical and Ludwig and these Markiplier, these huge creators that can put out a video of them sneezing and people will pay attention. And no shade to them. They're very interesting people that have built an incredible career. But most people, 99% of people that are creating content online are trying to bait you into clicking on their products. Mm-hmm. Now, as a creator, it's your responsibility to make sure that the content you're creating is quality and the content you're creating is worth somebody, even if they're being fooled into clicking on it, that it's worth their time to actually be there and watch it, and baseline that you're not lying. When I say clickbait, I mean I'm trying to make things look as clickable as possible. I'm going to Photoshop some fake render of a Switch to be in a thumbnail if we don't know what the Switch looks like. As long as what I'm talking about and the title reflects what the actual episode is, I personally am okay with it.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, like there were some people out there, and I won't use names, but like I remember we were sitting here one day, I was like sitting here getting ready for stream, like after we did the podcast one night, and I saw a video, I was like, what is this? And it looked like it was literally, the title was something like, this is the Nintendo Switch 2. And I was like, wait, what? And it's like, it's just a render of like the Switch 2, like with a white background. It looked very legitimate. Even like the profile picture for the YouTube channel looked almost like a Nintendo logo. And I like got so fast. Really? Yeah, I got.
I don't remember that.
And I was like, have you seen this? And you're just like, you got, dude.
Oh, I think I don't remember what it was exactly, but there was some render going around that people were falling for. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what it looked like. Mm-hmm. As soon as you said that, my brain was like, are you trolling me? Because there is one video in my beatemups library that was controversial for a lot of people. And funny enough, it sat right here. This stupid thing is still relevant. The reason why it's here is because you can use its thingy like a mouse, and I just think it's interesting to have this for this video. My review of this was called "This Isn't." Someone sent me a Nintendo Switch 2, and it was me holding this in the title.
Yeah, but see, that's fine because it's not.
So I agree. That's a whole conversation I've had with my community. This was in the thumbnail.
Yeah,
you can see I'm holding it. I thought it was pretty clear what I was doing is because. You can use these like Joy-Cons, and it's a more powerful version of what the Switch is.
Right.
It was my little like dorky, cutesy, stupid, this is a Switch 2 because look what it can do. And people got really upset because they thought I legitimately had a Switch 2, and that's what I was saying. Which I get. That one is dicey. I'll give you that one. I thought it was fine, and I left it the way it is, but a lot of people were upset by that one.
True.
I was holding this in the thumbnail. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
All right. Let's get back to being, not that I'm not, but let's get back to being excited about the Switch 2. Although, is that everything? Nintendo Direct. Oh, so I was a little confused when I watched the trailer to begin with because it said, I was just so excited. I was reading what I wanted to read.
Right.
It said April 2nd.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it's releasing April 2nd. That is actually a Direct. So if we wanted to speculate what's in that Direct, as Arlo was saying, it's most likely going to show some games. It's going to be the first Switch 2 Direct.
Yeah.
So we're going to see for the first time games that are coming to the Switch 2. It's going to be the most fun and exciting Direct we've had in a very long time. Because we've had some Directs in the last year or two of the Switch that managed to do an incredible job considering where we're at with the console. But do you remember those early Switch Directs or even mid-lifespan Directs?
Yeah.
Where every single one was so hype and the surprises and the last one more things were always a banger?
Yeah.
That restarts now.
It does.
For the next 3-4 years, we get banger Directs again.
Hell yeah.
And this one coming is going to give us a lot about the console, and I'm hoping a lot about, or it will have the launch games, because it has to, because it's so close to the launch window. My little guesses are Mario Kart, whatever we're calling it. I really am feeling Elden Ring day one.
Yeah.
Because I've said this, I made a video about games I think are coming to Switch. Actually,
It's Switch 2's Skyrim is what it is.
Yes. So if you can cut to me, I just want to show. Oh God, it's so. I also have a theory on what the cases are going to look
like.
Like
a PowerPoint.
This is just my little theory, my little guess on what the cases will look
Mario Kart
like.
9.
I think the cases will be red. I think they'll be all red for the Switch 2.
There does need to be a way to differentiate from.
I think it needs to be differentiated, and also. Not to use the Wii U for an example, but when they went from Wii to Wii U, they made the cases blue.
Right.
And I think they have a really nice, they stand out. My little guess is that I think we're going to get red cases. Just my little guess. Right. We'll see. But yeah, I do think we'll get Elden Ring. The GDA in here is a little bit of clickbait because I talked about GDA definitely not coming to Switch 2.
No.
Because I heard some people like, do you think it will come? No shot in
way.
hell. But I think we'll get that Mario Kart. I do think we'll get Monster Hunter Wilds at some point. I think we'll definitely get Metaphor at some point. If you want to look at this video, they're all the games I think will come to Switch 2 other than GDA. But Elden Ring, you can cut away. Elden Ring was inspired by Breath of the Wild. Developers themselves said they wanted to take their FromSoft style Elden Ring game, Dark Souls games, blend it with Breath of the Wild, and they made Elden Ring. So, and as you said, Switch 1 launched with Skyrim. Now, a lot of what Nintendo is doing right now is trying to recreate the success and recreate the beats of what went into Switch 1. And one of the big things was it had Skyrim on it. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
It had Skyrim on the console, and they showed that in the reveal trailer. And the reason why they did that is because for a lot of people, it was a moment of, oh, it can play Skyrim.
Yeah.
This thing can play
That's
Skyrim.
a big thing to be able to just play on the go.
At the time.
Cool.
And how do you recreate that right now? Oh, this can play Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Like that's a kind of an eye-opening moment, I think, for a lot of people that are doubting what this thing can do. If it can play a game that literally released 2 years ago.
Yeah. But it's for different reasons, though, that it's eye-opening, right? Like, cause
I think it's for the same reason.
Well, because for me, like, especially when it comes to Elden Ring, like, because my reaction when I saw the Skyrim was playable on the Switch, when it initially was, when the ad first came out, was like, oh, that's crazy. I never thought I'd be able to play Skyrim on a console, like on the go, like, like a mobile thing. And now that's like a less impressive thing because there are a lot of things out there that other hardware that you can play decent games on.
Sure. If you want to get like a handheld PC.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's but the thing is though, I think it's for the price point that it is like, because a lot of people are priced out of things like a ROG Ally.
Well, not only are they priced out of things like that, for a lot of people those things don't matter.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck has sold 3 million units.
Sure.
Like people aren't like, oh, if I want to play Elden Ring, I'm going to play it on my Steam Deck, because they probably don't have a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, the next Switch, which I wanted to buy anyway, is able to play Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I think you are right. There are a lot of handheld devices now that ruin the perception of a handheld device being able to play something they can play. Mm-hmm. But I think it's different with Nintendo because most people want to buy a Switch.
Yeah.
So if it can play Elden Ring,
another thing that it's capable of.
I think it's still the same. Like,
Yeah.
we thought this was maybe going to be underpowered. We thought maybe this is going to have the power of a PlayStation 4. That was the pin we wanted to talk about, I'm pretty sure. So we can lead into that now.
Elden Ring is also sort of a benchmark for people these days.
Well, I think there's a lot of things people don't realize here. I'm going on so many tangents. But people think like, oh, how could it play Elden Ring when it like barely runs on my Steam Deck or whatever? The Steam Deck is essentially playing the PC version. There's some optimization there, but when a game company ports a game to a console like Switch, like we saw Doom ported to the Switch 1, they have a whole other company, in this case Panic Button, work on a specific Switch port, developing it for that console, making sure it works on that console, sometimes rebuilding the games back in from scratch to work on that console. So if you take Elden Ring and you rebuild it or you retool it or you optimize it and you port it to the Switch, it's a lot easier than saying, hey, this file and version I have for my PC, that's never going to run on the Switch, because of course it's probably not going to.
Yeah.
But on top of that, when people say it only has the power of a PlayStation 4, it's kind of a moot point. Right now, the rumor is PlayStation 4 Pro. But the thing is, that hardware then, we didn't have the technology that we had back then and the know-how we had back then to work with that technology like we do now. Things have gotten a lot easier. Game development has gotten a lot easier. Tools and tricks like Nintendo's own patent that they just put out recently to take games that are 60 gigs and shrink them down to 20 gigs and the AI upscaling, none of that was available on the PlayStation 4. So you take the PlayStation 4 Pro power, but with what you can do to it today, you can get a lot more out of it. And then if you also optimize games for that new power, you can do a lot more than what people are realizing.
It goes a lot further.
People just think, they just hear PlayStation 4 and they think the graphics are going to be hard locked at all the PlayStation 4 games that they've played.
Right.
It's not going to be that way. I really don't think it's going to be that way. I don't think it's a powerhouse, but I think it will be able to compete with something like Steam Deck.
Right.
But anyway, I do think we're going to get that Elden Ring reveal on launch, to go back to that, because I think it's a similar Skyrim situation, like you were saying.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get Mario Kart as the big first-party title. Some people are like, are we going to get the Metroid day one? I think you get one first-party. I don't think Nintendo... Oh, you can cut away from this.
I know, showing it again.
Oh,
you're
sorry.
Talking about it.
I looked up again, and I thought it'd been there the whole time.
No.
My bad. What was I saying?
Mario Kart.
Yeah, I don't think you get both on day one because it's splitting. Nintendo's splitting their own fan base. They might not be able to afford like a $400, $500 console, whatever, and a $70 probably Mario Kart and a $70 Metroid. And Metroid being the game that they're worried about, they spent so long developing it, and the sales of this game is going to be so important. I think you want to get people on board. You want to get the install base first. You want to get everyone buying that Switch 2 on launch with Mario Kart. Then once you have the 20 million people on board, because Nintendo are predicting right now they're going to have 20 million units available for the first year of the Switch. So you want to get those, let's say, best case scenario, 20 million people on board, and then you want to drop Metroid after several months.
That's lot. I feel like 20 million, that's a lot of units.
I know, it's a lot. I don't know if they'll sell that many, but that's what they're expecting. I think PlayStation 5 did like 10, 14.
But like,
I don't know. Actually, I'm talking out my ass.
Having a lot of inventory available is going to be nice. I hate the idea of having to like buy it from a scalper.
Yeah, I think that
should never happen.
They're really trying to avoid that, and I think it makes sense because if you buy it from a scalper, that doesn't count to a Nintendo number.
No.
So why would they? They want this to be biggest selling console.
Sell a lot, yeah.
So I think it's going to be widely available. And yeah, you get that install base. A few months go by. It's a new console. There's not many people developing for it yet or releasing things yet. People are a little hungry. You drop a Metroid, people have no choice.
Yeah.
And there's like maybe 10 million of them there. That's the plan, I think, for releasing Metroid. So I don't think we'll get any other first party. As far as that, if we're looking into the echoes of Nintendo repeating and like going through some, I think it'd be funny if what the Switch 1 released with Street Fighter 2, the like old school one in like a package.
Yeah.
It would be awesome if this one released with Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah.
The brand new one playable on the console. I think that would be a really cool homage, and it also gives people a fighting game. It gives people a... you need a water?
I'm okay. I'm
having a hard time.
It's fine, yeah.
It gives people a fighting game. It gives people a racing game. It gives people an open action, open world Elden Ring game. I mean, you're hitting a lot of genres here. I don't know what else you want to throw in. Apparently, I've heard 25 launch games for this console. And then you have all your backwards compatibility. I think that tweet also asked, or that super chat also asked about like old games playable in 4K. I'm really, so there's a lot of things I feel like boxes has been checked with things that I was kind of predicting or wanting, things like Mario Kart. Something I have been talking about for like 2 years, if not more at this point, is the idea of NVIDIA's AI upscaling.
Right.
I really think that's going to be a part of this console. I think Nintendo, they are always a step behind, but they've been a step behind with resolutions this last generation. And I think even now them releasing artificial AI upscaling is still a step behind. So I think they know that that's where they have to be. They filed a patent recently that I talked about in my last beatemups video of actually doing AI upscaling and reducing file sizes and then boosting them back up artificially. I think we will see 2K, 4K, something like that, something like higher resolutions, and doing it artificially. And I do think they'll release patches for a lot of their more popular games. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an obvious one. Although maybe it's not, because they might want to just forget about it and move on to the new one. I don't know. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, those are obvious ones. Animal Crossing, that's an obvious, easy one. I think a lot of those, Mario Odyssey as well, obvious, easy one. Super Smash Brothers. I do think day one, a lot of these games are going to have free patches. This is just my theory. I'm just guessing. Free patches that you can just download, and they just make your games look and play better on the Switch. I think Breath of the Wild won't have frame rate issues anymore. It might even be 60 frames. I think Tears of the Kingdom will have a little bit of a harder time with frames, but I think it will have improved resolutions.
Well, I would think that with better hardware, not even with like AI upscaling, that these games would be able to run like at 60 FPS. So.
Well, I think so too. The thing is, they have to get patched.
Sure.
So this is something that a lot of people have taught me, because I really thought better hardware means you can just stick in an old game and of course it'll run better. Mm-hmm. And it might in some ways, in very small, minuscule ways that you probably won't even notice. Maybe load times will be quicker. But if you really want to get the most out of it, it does have to be optimized. If you do want, because these games, for example, Breath of the Wild, the game, the Switch version is probably locked at 30 FPS.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it has anything in its coding to let it go up to 60. It's probably locked at 30.
Right.
So you stick that in a Switch 2, in its coding, it's locked to 30. So you still need Nintendo to go in there and optimize it, to give it the 60, to give it the whatever, make sure that it works. And I do think we will have that on launch day. Will games like Elden Ring be able to do 2K, 4K with the upscaling? I don't know. They might cap games like that at 1080.
Right.
Especially if they want to, it's probably going to be 30 frames, cap it at 1080. Stuff like that for the bigger experiences. I mean, I'm not fooling myself here at all. You take Switch 1 for an example, games like Outer Worlds, which was an absolute mess of a game, that was like 360p and 30 frames just to get it to fit on the system. Right. There are going to be games like Elden Ring that are lower resolution and lower frame rates. Sure, they're not going to be 4K. They're not going to be 60 frames. But games like Breath of the Wild, a lot of indie games like Hades 2, stuff like that, those could definitely utilize the AI upscaling and try and get the 4K. I am talking so much. I am so excited.
We're at an hour 37, by the way.
How long are we?
An hour 37.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually not too bad.
Not too bad.
I thought we were longer than that.
Yeah.
How are we doing? What's the vibe? Do we want to wind down? Do we have any super chats? Any questions? Any comments?
The super chats are taken care of at this point.
Okay.
The general vibe from the chat seems to be positive and excited. From what I can tell. You know, obviously there's some amount of negativity in there, but like, what are you gonna do? You know, some people just only want to be negative about it.
I think it's going to be tough until people see specs. I think people won't make their mind up until they see games running on it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's all that matters. And that is a very, very important part. I'm not discrediting it. And I look forward to seeing it too. Obviously, it would be absolutely wild if we get our hands on this thing and it's barely more powerful than a Switch. That would be so disappointing. And I would fear for my career for the next 8 years.
I think maybe let's get a little poll going in the chat.
Yeah, get a poll. Do it. Do you want me to do it?
Are we excited for the Switch 2? I'll do it. I got it.
You do it. Yeah, obviously there are definitely still questions, and I don't blame people for being worried. I'll say it's interesting to me, and I was talking to my friend RGT about this, and I kind of want to bring him on for an episode to talk about this, because more than anybody, him and I have a lot of experience with what happened 8-9 years ago. And I was telling him how funny it is that it's kind of history repeating itself. Not as badly, but it's definitely echoes of it still there. When we were going in from the Wii U, and if you guys have been following me for a long time, there's a poll in chat, by the way.
Yeah.
When we were going into the Switch, I was making content about the Wii U here and there. Games worth buying. That's actually probably my first video that did really well, was Wii U games worth buying. And that's while the Wii U was out and we didn't even know about the Switch. It was back when I was in Australia. So I was kind of in that scene at the time. I was making content about the Wii U when no one else really was, because A, no one cared about it. Like 13 million consoles sold. There was no one looking up that information, especially at the end of the Wii U's lifespan. Nobody was looking up that information. And Nintendo used to block gameplay footage and block any kind of their material being used in videos. So content creators were scared to even do it. And I remember back then I found ways to work around that by chopping up the footage and hiding the footage. And I was doing my best at actually making content around the console. So I was in that scene. So was RGT. And then when the Switch was coming around, nobody was convinced. The general consensus back then was the Switch is going to fail. Even before we knew what it was, everyone assumed the next thing's going to fail, because look at the Wii U. How could they ever turn it around? Which isn't a crazy thing to think about. And then when we saw the Switch, even when we saw what it was, people were like, they're ruining it. They're moving away from the home console. Now it's going to be underpowered. It's going to be underpowered was the biggest thing. It's going to be an underpowered handheld. And people still thought it was going to fail. A lot of my videos back then and conversations back then and my podcast I had with Eric back then, the Wood and Eric podcast, Everything's Taken, a lot of our conversations back then were about how everyone was saying it was doomed to fail. That was the big key tagline. And then it became a joke when Doom was revealed for it, because we were like, it's literally doomed to fail. And I remember I did a podcast episode you can go back and watch with a good friend of mine, Rerez. He came on a special guest with me and Eric, and he was of the notion that it was going to fail. And we were of the notion that, of course, it was going to be a success. And we talked about it for an hour. And most people thought the way he thought. And then you go on to it being a huge success. And at the time, I was like, I don't know how people don't see this. I honestly don't know how people don't realize what's about to happen and how smart it is to merge their big budget home console and their big titles in with their handheld market, which is doing so well.
I remember when I first heard about it, I was ecstatic. I thought it was going to be sick. So
you're a real one.
Yeah.
And now we're here again in a small way. I think because people have so much confidence from the Switch that it's almost like it's the reverse now, where it's like, how can the Switch 2 even fail? But there are still so many people doubting if it's going to be able to play games, if it's going to be powerful, what it's capable of, if it will be a success. How people think like it's backwards compatible, or like, why would I even upgrade? Or if it's going to be more expensive, I'll just play the old one. Just wait. Give it. I think the launch, I honestly think the launch will be bigger than Switch 1's launch. I think it's almost impossible for it not to, and you can quote me on that. And then I think 6 months in, a year in, people are going to realize what's happening. And that's what happened last time. Because I remember last time, 6 months in, I had a video up, 10 Switch games worth buying and 5 that aren't. It was a whatever video, 1,000 views, whatever at the time. 6 months in, it randomly started ticking up. And now it's one of my most viewed videos of all time. And most of those views are from back then. Because all of a sudden, people wanted a Switch. All of a sudden, people realized the Switch was good. And they were like, going to YouTube, Switch games worth buying. Guess who was like the only suckers there making videos? Like me, Arlo, RGT85, and a couple others. And that's why we're here now.
Pioneers.
Well, it's not me taking credit, or it's not me boasting my toast or Arlo's toast. It's me trying to make you realize what happened back then compared to what is happening now.
Right. By the way,
I was just lucky that I cared.
The poll in chat is interesting to me, right? Because I mean, it's not surprising at all, because it's 97% of the chat is excited for the Switch.
97%,
right?
Let's go, you guys are.
But see, this
champs.
is a lesson in vocal minority, right? because while the poll was running, somebody gave us a super chat, which, by the way, thanks for the $2. They said switch 2, you mean switch poo, right? I mean,
okay,
like, come on.
Oh, how old are we?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like most of us here are pretty excited about this. I mean, basically all of us here are
Yeah,
pretty
I'm very,
excited
very
about this.
excited.
So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny how, like, you know,
I'm
and like
excited.
even before that comment,
I'm so excited.
it's like even before that comment, like I saw like I was like, yeah, chat has been mostly positive, but there's a little bit of negativity in there, and it's like you notice the negativity so much more than positivity, right?
Yeah,
because most people are just here, aren't even typing in chat, and then some people just want to show up just to be like negative. You know,
I think it's fine, honestly. Like when I'm talking about the negativity, I'm talking about people that are just doubters that it'll be good, and I think that's just misconceptions, or maybe they're right. Who knows? I mean, I'm not saying I'm right. I don't think all those people are negative. I don't think all those people are spiteful, but I do think there are some people that do like switch poo. He's probably joking. He put a super chat.
Yeah.
I think there are people that hate things just because they're popular, for sure.
Sure.
And they want to see things fail, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really excited. Like, I think back to when I got my first Switch. I remember it so vividly. I was living in a basement in a big rental that like 10 people were renting. There was so many people. They were all college kids. And then there was me working in a restaurant and making YouTube videos in the basement. I remember getting home. I remember unboxing it like it was yesterday. And like none of it's filmed because I wasn't really doing Switch content back then. And I didn't know if I was going to. I hadn't done an unboxing before. So all of that was just me in my room on my own. I was living on my own. And docking it and getting that experience for the first time and loading up Breath of the Wild and just sitting there and playing for hours and hours and hours. I cannot wait to do that again. I'm going to play so much Mario Kart, except now I'm not going to be alone.
I'm excited to play Mario Kart with you because
it's going to be so good.
Historically,
dude. It's going to be so good.
Historically, I'm pretty okay at Mario Kart.
I'm pretty good at Mario Kart too. I'm pretty good at Mario Kart as well.
I'm pretty good at it.
The only thing that's going to suck is like I do have to film it. I have to film the unboxing. I have to film playing the game. It's going to take a lot of the fun out of it for me. But I think it'll be so exciting. It'll counterbalance it. I just want to get it. I just want to get it out, throw it in, and start playing. But I'm going to have to set up cameras when I come home, and it's got kind of a nightmare. But I'm not complaining because it's the best job in the world.
Are there going to be staff units, or?
Like a Christmas bonus, like a holiday bonus?
Just a staff unit. Like it's it's.
Are you asking me to buy you a Switch too?
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I'll talk to HR.
Okay, we'll talk to HR.
I'll talk to HR. I'll talk to management. Yeah. I don't want it to come across like a bribe, you know.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
If you commit to your job, Scoot tried to call me. Should I call him back?
We could call him on Discord. If you want to talk to him on Discord,
call him. See if he answers.
Prediction in chat: does Scoot answer the phone when we call him?
He wants to call about the New York event. I just want to see what he has to say about it.
I'm calling him.
96%. Super chat from Mark. I'm just relieved the wall of games behind Wood will mostly be playable in Switch 2. Oh, I was talking about that with Ham today. I was like...
We still got this freaking... I'm going to turn this down.
I was like, what are they going to look like? And I am so excited to start putting the games into the wall and start a little Switch collection. What?
He's not answering.
That's fine. We gave him a chance.
He had his chance.
Joseph, stepping up to $5 to clarify it was legit. Oh, no, I thought so. I thought so, Joseph. I thought so. I said that. Day one the Switch and will attempt to day one the Twitch too. Love you, Joseph. No, I knew you were kidding. It was a little jokey. I guess I'm gonna stream me picking it up again, right? Like waiting in line if there is a line. I did that for the first one, and that's weirdly one of my most viewed videos on the channel is just me waiting in line.
You're gonna stream it, or you're gonna?
You want to do an in-real life stream with me,
brother? I'm so glad you asked. I would love to do that.
I would just need you to not do the.
What?
The like sounds.
What sounds? What?
Like on your stream.
Oh, TTS. No.
Yeah.
No. This will be on your your channel, right? Like
that would be awesome.
Yeah, we could do.
Because then you could film it.
We could do it on the pod, or we could do it just on beatemups, whatever you want to do.
Let's do beatemups.
Yeah.
Let's do in real.
Have TTS.
Okay.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Main channel in real life stream because Ham has all the gear to go live, like an actual camera and stuff.
Right.
And we'll live stream going and picking it up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super down.
All right. I honestly, I could keep going. There are so many avenues to go down. I think we've exhausted a lot. I think this was good. I think I'm going to get out of here. We also have to do a bonus episode. So if it's your first time here or you don't know, we have a Patreon. The Patreon is specifically for this channel. It helps pay for things like Ham's wage. It helps pay for Max to do the TikToks, which now might become just YouTube shorts. We might see this weekend. And also, like, I'm getting new music and new graphics made right now. And all of that is taken out of the Patreon and made possible by you guys. But here's the biggest thing. Here's what you get. All you got to do is sign up for the Patreon, and you get a bonus episode every week. Everything you just saw, you get another one that only Patreons have access to, and we do it right after the show. So it's like a live after-party bonus episode where we continue the talk. And in this episode, we want to talk about the crazy Pokemon scalpers.
We do.
Because
we definitely do.
Pokemon released a new card game today or something.
Well, not a card, but a new set today.
A new set today. And there's so many videos of people tearing up Costco's that I've been seeing on my Instagram reels. So we're going to look at that. We're going to call Scoot because he just replied to me. He said he's in Discord. We'll do it in the bonus.
We'll do it on the bonus.
We'll get him in on the bonus. And probably some other things. And you get that all just by joining the Patreon. And you get your name in the credit roll that just happened a second ago. And you get to join the Discord.
Which needs to be updated.
Yeah, I know. Finally, let me ramble for a couple extra minutes here. For everybody else that doesn't care, you can leave. Thank you so much for supporting this show. This is a brand new season, a brand new year of the Nontendo podcast. I told you I am not giving up on this show. I am riding this thing to the gates of Valhalla. Ham is my right-wing man on the side. And Kim is usually here, but she's not feeling very well today. I want to try and get back into the studio to do an episode. I was trying to do it for the relaunch of the season this year, but E is going to MagFest next week or something, but I'm trying to make that happen. But my point is, thank you for sticking with the show. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching every week. We're live Thursdays. This is a special day, 3 p.m. Eastern time from now on for the rest of the year, covering everything Nintendo, everything that's happening with the Switch 2, and everything that's happening in our lives. We love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. You go like this?
No, everything happened in our lives.
Well, not everything that happens in our lives, yeah, but some things. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. I think that's it. And the Patreons, I'll see you right now. Hit me!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Like us, rate us 5 stars, leave a good comment, all of that stuff.
So long, y'all. Oh, that was. Hold on, sorry.
I'll answer any unanswered super chats in the bonus episode too. Sorry to Zan. Yeah, thank you.